Alright, welcome to the second part of grammar of Surah 100, which is Surah Al-Adiyat. In the first part, we have done the parsing for verses number 1 to verse number 6, Al-Adiyat Dhabha, until Innahu ala Rabbihi lakanud. So today we will do 7 until 11. 7, 11. Alright, 7 and 8 and 11 verses that are similar to verse number 6, which is Innahu ala Innal insana. What is verse number 6? والعاديات ضبحا فالموريات قدحا فالمغيرات صبحا فأثرن به نقعا فوسطن به جمعا إن الإنسان لربه لكنود. Okay, so we have done إن الإنسان لربه لكنود. 7, 8 and 11 will be similar to that. Okay, now let's do it. Okay, as an introduction, let me introduce to you a method, a technique to do this. Okay, so whenever you see a verse, for example number 7, you see first whether it's nominal or verbal. Verbal, so one way to do it is to find whether there's a verb or not. Okay, so innahu ala dhalika la shahid, there's no verb. Okay, so let's put a cross here. So I just put a cross, there's no verb, which means most likely it is a nominal sentence. Okay, number 8, there's no verb, therefore it's a nominal sentence. So number 9, so number 9 you see afala ya'lam, so that ya'lam is a verb, right? So it's a verbal sentence. And then number 10, وَحُصِّلَ مَا فِي الصُّدُورِ. So حُصِّلَ, made manifest, is a verb, therefore it's a verbal sentence, a verbal call. And then إِنَّ رَبَّهُمْ بِهِمْ يَوْمَئِذٍ لَخَبِيرٌ. This one is similar to 7 and 8, therefore this is a nominal. Okay, so once we have established the core or the structures for the verses, then it's easier for us to do the parsing of the sentences. Okay, alright, so let's go to number 7 back again. وَإِنَّهُ عَلَى ذَلِكَ لَشَهِيدٌ. Now, once we know it's a nominal, we just find the subject and the predicate. Okay, and whenever you see inna, it makes it easier, because once you see inna, what comes after it, the who, which is he, which is actually huwa, is the predicate of subject of nominal. Therefore we put it here, subject of nominal. This arrow is a bit off here because of copy pasting, so this arrow is referring to the who. Okay, and then we find the predicate of nominal. So he is what? He is a witness, shahid. Shahidun, a predicate of nominal is pushed, right? So you have this as the predicate of nominal. And then we are done with 2, right? And when you go to 8, let's straight away go to 8. You can straight away do the same thing. Innahu lihubbil khayri la shadid. So the who is the subject of nominal, which is he, is what? Is severe, or is violent, or is extreme. So this would become the predicate of nominal. Let's go down to 11. 11 would be inna rabbahum bihim yawma idhin la khabir. So you see inna, right? You see inna. Once you see that, straight away whatever that comes after it would be the predicate subject of nominal. Sorry, so it will be here because of, like I said, the copy paste makes it goes a bit off. And then the predicate of nominal will be something that is pushed, therefore it's khabirun. Okay, therefore this is the predicate of nominal. And there you go, you got a course for number 7, 8 and 11. 7, 8 and 11. So those are the cores. And then let's go to the core of 9 and 10. So the core of 9 and 10 is verbal. Okay, now we found the verb ya'lamu here. Okay, so you have the verb here, so the verb, and then every verb has a subject of verb. Okay, now you find a standard noun which is a subject of verb like in front of it. If you don't find one, it means you have to assume that there is a, in this case, he here because of the ya, okay, and nothing at the back, therefore it's he. There's a he here, which is the subject of verb, subject of verb. And then you got the core. The core is he knows. He knows what? He knows when what is in the graves are scattered. Okay, so that is the core, the verbal core. Now when you go to 10, you have hussila. Remember we have u e, right? U e. That means it's passive. In this case, ua would be passive for present. This verb is past because of the ending fatha here. This verb is past and passive. Therefore, this is the core, the verb. And then, where is the subject of verb, right? So subject of verb, no, I just now I said find a standard noun. Yeah, sometimes it's not a standard noun. It can also be a pronoun, in this case the relative pronoun here. Okay, so what is made manifest? Okay, the ma is made manifest, the what, okay, ma. So this ma, which is okay, which means this box is irrelevant here. This ma is the subject of verb. Okay, now we don't when the verb is passive like hussila, if the verb is active hasala, then you have a subject of verb. But this one is passive. We just, for convenience sake, we just say it's a subject of verb. But in Arabic you don't say when a verb is passive, you don't say the subject as a subject of verb. You say it's not fa'il is subject, you say it's na'ib fa'il means replacement of the verb, or the deputy subject of the verb, some people say it. Okay, so which means what? Which means the ma here, which is the subject or the deputy subject of the verb, is not really subject of the verb, because it is made manifest. So meaning wise, it is the object of verb, right? So something else made it manifest. So that is the core. So the core of 10, which is verbal, which is what is in the hearts, is made manifest. So therefore we have identified the cores for 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11. Okay, all right. So then we go to the non-core, so the pre and the post. Okay, so the pre is whatever that comes before the core. Okay, so for verse number 7, for example, you have a wa here, which is a conjunction, therefore we put it here as a conjunction. And then the inna, which is the particle of emphasis. Okay, so that's the pre. Now when you look at al, okay, we'll do that for the others. So the wa in verse number 8 will be conjunction, inna would be the emphasis. Okay, same thing, inna would be particle of emphasis for verse number 11. Okay, and then the verse number 10, the wa here would be the conjunction. Okay, now we are doing it big picture, which is I think better for you guys to see it more clearly. Okay, so we do the pre for the 9. Number 9, what's the pre for number 9? Afala. So you see afala. So la is the particle of negation, and the is particle of interrogative, right? It's asking, so interrogative, particle of interrogation. And then fa here in the corpus, they say it's a supplemental, which means it is an extra fa. As in, if you see it as an extra, then you don't really translate it. It's just extra. But if you see it as a conjunction, then you translate it as so or an. Okay, so you can take both. All right, so now we are done with the pre's, okay. And then what are you left with? You are left with the post. Okay, you are left with the post. But before you go to the post, which is the prepositional phrases and object of verbs and stuff like that, let's find some possessives. Okay, because the possessives, you need to identify the function of the second noun in the possessive, so it's easier for you. Okay, possessive. Okay, so the possessive will be, okay, let's look at it. Okay, so we have hubbil khayri, so you have -2 plus 1 there, so the love of good, all right. So the second one, which is the noun here, khayri, would be the possessive. Okay, done with that. And then you go to another possessive. Okay, another possessive is in verse 11, rabbahum. Whenever you have a noun plus a pronoun, that's a possessive. Okay, straight away you write a possessive there. And then you are sort of done with possessives, nothing else, right? So nothing else. Okay, now let's go to some other things before we go to post. Okay, some other things that you have before you go to the post is you have inna here. Let's go to 7. Inna, whenever you have inna and then it's paired with the la here, it's called an oath, lam of oath, which is really an emphasis, so it's translated as surely. So you also have it at verse 8, you also have it at verse 11. Okay, so we'll just put that as emphasis or oath. Okay, I'll just emp. Okay, done. All right, so now we are done. What remains from all this is the post. Okay, most of them are post sentence, and post sentence is usually preposition and object of preposition. So straight away you find the ones that you have not parsed, which is ala dhalika for verse number 7. So you write here particular preposition and then object of preposition, and then li hubbi, verse number 8, particle of preposition and then object of preposition. Good. And then fis sudur, which is number 10, particle of preposition, object of preposition. And then bihim, verse number 11, preposition and then object of preposition. Okay, yawma idhin, we've not done that yet. We will go to that last maybe. Okay, and then number 9, verse number 9, you have fis sudur. Fis sudur would be object of preposition and object of preposition. Okay, so we'll find the linking verbs or linking nouns to this prepositional phrases at the end. I just realized we haven't done either bu'thira ma. Okay, so let's do bu'thira first. Bu'thira is like zulzila, right? So the first one is idha zulzila. So the first verse is zulzila. Okay, so you have zulzila, which is passive, and the active is zalzala, right? So same thing for this one is bu'thira. So the active is ba'thara. The pattern is fa'lala, fu'lila. So passive. So bu'thira is passive. That's why you have the meaning as being scattered. Okay. So bu'thira is a verb here. So what is scattered? The ma here, which is referring to the one translation, which is one interpretation is dead bodies scattered, erased, and brought out from their graves. So that is which is scattered. Okay, so it becomes, this ma becomes okay, you don't have this box here because you already have the subject of verb, which is ma, And as you mentioned just now, like husila ma, so this ma is also not really subject of verb, but it's really the object of verb because it is scattered. Okay, but we just say it's a subject of verb because once a verb is passive, you don't really have the direct subject of verb, so the object of verb takes over the subject of verb in this case. Okay, so in the Zoom session after this, we'll talk more about passive verbs and subjects and objects of verb for this type of verbs. Number two, I'll talk more about adverbs. Okay, so we will talk about these two topics more extensively in the Zoom session that will come after this. Okay, so once you do that, then you are left with idha and then yawma idin. Idha and yawma idin. Now idha would be adverb, yawma idin. So yawma idin, I have explained yawma idin previously, so I'll just put here it's an adverb, and I'll talk more about idha and yawma idin and passive verbs in the Zoom session. So yep, we're done. So today we did quite something, a new technique. In fact, I've done this before. It's just that we don't regularly do this. So the steps in doing this in a big picture way is that we find the cores, okay, as in the verbal structures and the nominal structures first, because that's the point of a sentence. That's the main point of the sentence. And then we find the pres, whatever comes before the subject of nominal, or whatever that comes before the verbs. Okay, and then we find the post, which is the prepositional phrases and the object of verbs. So that would be a simpler way of looking at this. Okay, so now we the last thing we should do now would be the functions. Sorry, the force. Okay, so the forms will be the arrows. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. So conjunction will be a sort of a watcher here, so we'll just put a W here. Emphasis, so inner would lift the subject of nominal, okay, and then the preposition would drag the object of preposition, and then you have this emphasis la, which is a watcher. And then shahidun is being lifted by inna, so the arrow goes like that. Okay, and then you have this prepositional link. Okay, we'll do that last with a different color so that it's clearer. So let's go to verse number 8. Conjunction is a watcher. This same thing applies to 7. So I'll not, for the sake of time, I'll not do number 8. I'll straight away go back to 7 to find a link. Okay, so I'll just change ink and I find a link. So ala dhalika is the prepositional phrase. You don't have a verb, so you link to the noun before it, but you don't link to the noun, which is who here, because you link back to what comes before it. What comes before it is by right should be shahid. Shahid should come before ala dhalika because shahid is a core, right? So ala dhalika here is something that is pushed forward for emphasis. So therefore we say the prepositional phrase here is linked to shahid. Okay, it's linked to shahid. And with that we have finished the force for number 7. The same applies to number 8 as I have mentioned just now. Let's go to number 9. So number 9, you have interrogative is a watcher. The fa here is a watcher also. Negative particle is a watcher also. So it begins here in terms of verb pushing the subject of verb. Okay, and then this verb again pushing the subject of verb, the bo'thira pushing ma, and then you have prepositional phrase pushing the object of preposition. Now the linking verb for this prepositional phrase, okay, uh, would be, you can link it to Mu'thira. Okay, you can link it to Mu'thira if it makes sense when what is scattered, okay, or in the corpus they link it to ma, the previous noun before it. So they link it to ma. But what is to me more direct would be you add something. So because in terms of meaning, you don't say when what in the graves, that's a the, yeah, when what in the graves are scattered, you don't say that, you put an is, so it becomes when what is in the graves are or when what is in the graves is scattered. Okay, so that's an is there, so you link so the prepositional phrase is linked to is. Okay, it's linked to is. Now okay, so what about the link between the either, link between either and the rest? Okay, this link between either and the rest I will speak in Zoom because this needs some detailed explaining. Okay, then we are done with number 9. We go to number 10. So number 10 would be conjunction is a watcher. Okay, let's change the ink. And then you have husila, verb pushing the subject of verb, and preposition dragging the object of preposition. Now the linking verb or the linking the prepositional link here is the same as what we discussed in number 9. Okay, so you can link to an implied is in between, so it becomes and what is in the hearts are made manifest. Okay, of course the translation can be polished, but that is the literal translation. Let's go to the last verse, which is 11. Inna rabbahum bihim yawma idhin la khabir. So inna would lift the subject of nominal. As I said previously, when the subject of nominal is preceded by inna, you can also call it subject of inna, and then you can also call the predicate of nominal as the predicate of inna. And then you have a possessive here. Possessive always is dragged by the noun before it. And then you have a preposition and object of preposition. And like 7, 8, and 6, okay, this prepositional phrase is linked to khabir. So it's linked to khabir because by right it should be inna rabbahum khabirun bihim. Inna rabbahum khabirun bihim. Okay, so what we are left now is yawma idhin. So yawma idhin we have not linked it, arrowed it, and also either. So these two things I'm going to talk in Zoom more, and then I'm going to talk about the passive verbs and their subject of verbs or their object of verbs. So let's just conclude now with the meanings of these verses. Okay, وَإِنَّهُ عَلَى ذَلِكَ لَشَهِيدٌ, and indeed he is surely a witness to that, referring to the ingratitude. وَإِنَّهُ لِحُبِّ الْخَيْرِ لَشَدِيدٌ, and indeed he is extreme in his love, in the love for goodness. Okay, for good. In this case, it is commonly translated as wealth, as scholars relate to other verses that mention khair as referring to wealth. Okay, the literal meaning would be goodness or good. أَفَلَا يَعْلَمُ إِذَا بُعْثِرَ مَا فِي الْقُبُورِ. So does he not know when what is in the graves are scattered? Okay, Asad translates that as raised and brought out. Okay, and then وحصل ما في الصدور, and this would be the conjunction, right? So, and so does he not know that what is in the hearts will be made manifest? Okay, and number 10 is the sort of response to the conditional either, so which means when what is in the grapes is scattered, therefore Lord is indeed their Lord is all aware, is surely all aware of them on that day. So the meaning, the expanded meaning would be aware of what they did and what they have kept secret in their hearts. Okay, so this is referring commonly to the day of judgment. Okay, all right, that's it. Thank you for watching and see you in Zoom.